Yes.
All set.
Thank you. All right, everybody. So just a reminder, my name is Calandra Waters Lake, and we are going to be talking about the green fees that are taking place this spring, 2024. Before we get really into green fees, we're going to be using the word sustainability a lot. So the Office of Sustainability is the one that implements the green fees. There's a committee on sustainability that makes decisions on who receives grants from the green fee. But we use this word sustainability a lot, and I like to go over the definition because depending upon what university you're at or what field you work in, it can mean a lot of different things. So at William & Mary, this is our official definition for sustainability. We approach it very broadly. It is definitely tied to the environment, but it also recognizes that there's a lot more to the sustainability of the planet when we're talking about the environment and people flourishing within that as well. So we look at sustainability through a very interconnected lens of the connections between society and the environment, moving towards a place that has well-being for all. You can see within this graphic another way of looking at it. So our environmental sustainability being the biggest sphere, but also within that social sustainability, and then within that economic sustainability. Another way to think about this is we also subscribe to the Sustainable Development Goals approach to sustainability, which is also very broad. And you can see in here a lot of goals that relate directly to some of what you might think is more traditional environmental approaches to sustainability, but also a lot of the social aspects to it and economic aspects as well. So getting into a little bit more about the green fee. So I like to give a little bit of history on the green fee. The green fee is a student fee. All students that go to William & Mary, undergraduate or graduate, pay into this fee like they do any other institutional fee. The fee was actually implemented by the student body in 2008. So they wanted to see more happen with sustainability on the campus. And so they were the ones that petitioned the Board of Visitors to make this happen. And when the green fee was put in place, that is also when the Committee on Sustainability was created to help oversee these funds. And the great thing about the green fee is that the funds are only used for sustainability purposes. So some of those funds go out in grants, which is what we're going to be talking about today. They also do things like support the Office of Sustainability, being able to move things forward across the campus. When we're talking about who can apply for the green fee, that is anyone at William & Mary. So any student can apply, again, undergraduate, graduate, that includes the Virginia Institute of Marine Science. If you are a student that is applying, you do have to have an advisor. An advisor can be a faculty advisor or they can be a staff advisor. Just any employee of the university needs to be tied to your proposal in some way, shape, or form. If you are a faculty or staff member, you can apply by yourself, although we really like to see collaborative proposals. So we often see proposals that involve faculty, students, and staff, or collaborations between faculty and staff. It can be a lot of different things. Community members can also be involved, and that's encouraged as well. Community members cannot apply by themselves as the lead on a project, but they can be collaborators on a project. We've even had some projects where the project is implemented somewhere else, so at a local school, but the William & Mary students are the ones leading it, implementing it, really learning from it. So there's a lot of flexibility here. What does it fund? So I just gave a quick, really broad definition to sustainability. And it can fund any project related to sustainability. So that could be something that is environmental, social, or economic. The strongest projects are able to show connections to all three of these. Those proposals can also be for all different types of projects. It can be for engagement and outreach. It can be for facilities, so physical changes on on the campus or operations, how we do business. It can be for research that's being done by faculty or research that's being done by students, ways to improve courses. It's very broad, it's very flexible fund, and really the only caveat is that it relates to sustainability. So one of the tough jobs that the Committee on Sustainability has is going through each of those proposals each semester to see, what's in there, because it can really run the gamut. So don't be afraid to reach out with an idea to see, would this be a good fit for a green fee proposal? There are a couple things that the green fee does not normally fund. So the green fee is not meant to be something that continues to fund individual projects in perpetuity. If it were, all of its funds would be dedicated to projects by now. So it's really seen as something that you can use to pilot ideas, and those could be ideas that are implemented on campus or ideas that students come up with to see if they work. And it can also be used to really change the campus culture, but generally not used for reoccurring projects and costs. There are a few things that the green fee is not currently funding, so that's bottle filling stations. It's not funding new gardens on campus, and it's not funding the tagging of vegetation on campus. Now, if you have more questions about those individual things, feel free to reach out. But some of that just ties back to what the green fee has funded a lot of in the past. So a little bit more about this particular round of funding. This semester, spring 2024, our proposals are due on March 5th, and that they're due by the end of the day, basically midnight, 11:59 p.m. They are due via an uplink. So if you go to our website or you download the cover page, on the cover page, it links to the website where you can find that additional link. It's a way for you to upload your full proposal. The preference is that the proposal be one PDF rather than uploading multiple documents. It just makes it a lot easier for everything to be compiled. The proposals themselves can be for anywhere between $100 to $100,000. And I know that's a big range, but gives you an idea of some of the things that can be suggested. Usually the projects are to be completed within a year. Now, the green fee process has already started as far as we've been advertising. Hopefully you all have been thinking about things. The proposals get submitted March 5th, but then the Committee on Sustainability needs time to review them and decide on them. So those decisions go out by the end of April. And when the decisions go out, that's kind of when the clock starts. And that's when the funds are usually released, is towards the end of the spring semester. There's a good bit of flexibility on this completion within a year, usually. If a project is going to go multiple years, you are welcome to put that in the proposal. You're welcome to include a phased approach where you are perhaps asking for money for phase 1, and then here's a little bit about phase 2 or 3, and you're hoping for funding for that in the future. So there's a few different ways to go about it. If your project ends up not being completed within that year, you can request an extension. It's up to the Committee on Sustainability if that extension is provided, but historically it is for spring and fall projects. And if you are rewarded or awarded a grant, then you are expected to submit progress and final reports. So progress reports are usually once a semester, just to let us know how things are going. And then when your project is complete, we like to have a final report so we can learn how it all went and if there's anything else to be learned. So a couple common mistakes or things to keep in mind when it comes to the proposals. I mentioned that there's a cover sheet. So on the Green Fee website, you will see a link to a cover sheet, and I can show you that website in a second as well. The cover sheet has sections for you to answer questions and things like that, but it's a cover sheet. It's not the actual full proposal. So the hope is that your proposal will have enough detail behind it that you can't put everything into just a few sentences. So the cover sheet is required. It gives us a snapshot of what your proposal is about, but then you need to also include sort of a written narrative of what your proposal is trying to accomplish and why it deserves funding. It also needs a budget. So when you upload something, the PDF or the document that you upload generally has three things. It has the cover sheet, it has your written proposal, and it has a budget. In your proposal, please feel free to state the obvious, because I just described how broad the proposals can be. They can range from very specific research all the way to, gardens, and all the way to like recycling, and like there's so many things that can be done with this. The Committee on Sustainability cannot be an expert in everything. So please don't assume that what you are suggesting is super clear. You need to really draw those lines for the Committee on Sustainability, make it really obvious as to how your proposal is related to sustainability. And that kind of gets me to the next bullet on here, particularly if your proposal is maybe a little heavier on the social side of things or the economic side of things, which is great. We really want to see those proposals. Please make sure to draw the connections to the environment as well. So paint that big picture of how all of these things are connected, how it is related to sustainability. Some other common challenges for proposals is itemizing the budget. So maybe your proposal is only asking for money for a single thing, but most proposals, there's usually at least one or two things. So line item your budget so that we can see exactly where you're planning on spending your money. That's also really important too, because the Committee on Sustainability wants to be very responsible about what it funds. And it's good for us to be able to see where you think you're spending your money so that we can also double check, sort of within ourselves that that all looks appropriate. If you have pictures, all the better. Pictures are not required, but pictures can really help sometimes when you have a narrative proposal. Maybe you're describing something really technical or you're hoping for something really specific. If you can provide visuals, then please feel free to do so. Purchasing. Okay, so you as an individual should be purchasing nothing. Because we don't want to have to reimburse anybody. So students should not be purchasing anything, faculty and staff should not be purchasing anything like on a personal credit card or anything like that. The people who should be doing the purchasing for your projects are the departments. So if you're faculty and you have a credit card and you do purchases, then you can be your own purchasing person. But maybe you have an administrative person that helps with that, then they would be your purchasing person. Same with staff. Students, this is where the whole advisor thing comes into play. So if your advisor is a faculty member or a staff member, whoever they use for purchasing is going to be your purchasing person. That is really important because green fee funds have to follow procurement rules just like any other funds. So all of the university policies apply. And there are some weird ones in there that you might not think of if you're not used to purchasing using university funds. So for example, we cannot purchase gift cards with green fee money. We can't purchase flowers with green fee money. Also, if you are looking to make a purchase from a single vendor, and that purchase is over $5,000, then there are a few more sort of steps you have to go through with procurement to make sure that you are with the best vendor match for your purchase. Your purchasing person in the department is aware of all of these things. They are probably used to following all these rules, checking all these boxes, and that's why it's really important that they are involved with your proposal. All right, so the Committee on Sustainability, what are they looking for when they are evaluating these proposals? Because like I said before, they can really be very broad and run a lot of different areas. One of the things they are looking for is impact. So in your proposal, make sure to highlight the type of impact that you think might happen from this. And that impact can be a lot of different things. It could be saving the university funds. It could be exploring, different options for students or faculty and staff on campus, piloting something that leads to something else. Lots of different ways to frame this, but the Committee on Sustainability has a certain amount of money. They need to decide who it's going to, and they're going to want to see really what is the impact that you think will happen from your proposal. The more interconnections that you can draw, the better. We've basically talked about this a few times now, but the more that you can draw those broad connections between the environment, society, the economy, the better. Student involvement is actually a large piece of what plays into some of these proposals. The Committee on Sustainability is very cognizant and aware that the green fee is a student fee. We have student members on the Committee on Sustainability. They are full members that vote just like anybody else who's part of the Committee on Sustainability. And so the committee does like to see student involvement wherever possible. The student could be the lead on the project or not. They might just be helping with research or helping to organize a part of the team. Another way to showcase impact, if you don't have students actually involved with your proposal, but maybe your proposal is going to directly impact students. That's one more way to sort of show a strong connection for the Committee on Sustainability. And then the university does have lots of goals. So besides university-wide goals, it also has sustainability goals that it is committed to within its sustainability plan and its climate action roadmap. These goals can all be found together on our website. So if you scan through those and your proposal furthers something on there, that's definitely something that you should highlight, because those are goals that the Committee on Sustainability already wants to see happen, that departments across the campus have said that they plan on moving forward with. So anything that helps with that is sort of two birds, one stone. All right, I am going to pop out of this for a second and actually share the proposal itself, or the cover sheet, because I want to be able to walk through a couple things with you all. All right, so on the website, you'll be able to download this cover sheet. The cover sheet is a Word doc, so you'll be able to edit it directly. It has sections for things like the title, the project leader, if you're a student, who your advisor will be. This is our very quick snapshot of a proposal. It tells us the total funds that you're requesting, and then just in a sentence or two, what is your proposal about? Provides a little bit of information that I've already gone over, such as, how much, what's the max you can basically ask for with these. A couple things to point out. There are some sections where you can lay out a little bit more about how your projects connect to the environmental side of sustainability, the social, the economic. You do not have to answer each of these questions. They are more to get you thinking so that you're not leaving anything left behind when it comes to submitting the proposal. Further down, this is where I said this is just a cover sheet, and it is. So this tells you right here that you still need to submit an actual proposal. So the purpose and rationale behind the project. So things like the methods, the plan, this is your chance to really sell the project. And then also the line item budget. So again, the three things that get uploaded in one document for us are this cover sheet, then the proposal, which is the purpose and rationale, and the budget. On this cover sheet is this little section here for offices or departments. This is meant sort of for your purchasing person. It's a kind of like a check the box. It makes sure that you've talked to your department, or you've talked to your advisor and they've talked to their department, so that the business officer or the administrative person who does all the purchasing, their name is on here too. That way we know that you've kind of run the purchases past somebody with purchasing ability. And that person is going to be the one in charge of making the purchases for you. Now, like I said, in the case of faculty and staff, if you already make your own purchases, you've got your own credit card or whatever it is, then you can put yourself down on here. But a number of folks don't, and they go through somebody else. So that's why we have this section, is to kind of do our due diligence too. That way your purchasing person has the ability to say, hold on, wait a second, you can't go through that vendor, or, oh, you're making purchases over $5,000. We need to get that double checked. And that all happens before the proposal makes it to the Committee on Sustainability. At the top of this cover sheet, by the way, is also a link to the page where you can upload your proposal. So I'm going to share my screen one more time and then open it up for questions. So this is the green fee site. You will be able to find down here, download the cover sheet. So that'll download the Word version for you. And then on the same page right below it is where you can submit your completed green fee proposal. And if you have any problems getting it uploaded, you need help, you hit an issue, anything like that, feel free to reach out to the Sustain email. We want the process to be as easy as possible. I think that's kind of everything that I wanted to cover. So what I'm going to suggest is, Bregan, maybe we could stop the recording here and then we can just open it up to the group and see what our questions are.